The vast chamber of celestial nexus was alive with whispers and uneasy glances. The alien delegates were still reeling from the unexpected arrival of Earth's fleet, an event no one had predicted. No one was prepared for. Sarah Janssen stood, tall at the center of the room, her dark eyes scanning the assembly. Despite the polished uniform and diplomatic veneer, there was steel in her posture, an unspoken promise that Earth would no longer be overlooked. "Commander Janssen," intoned Ambassador Krelvin, with a voice dripping equal parts disdain and curiosity, "your unilateral appearance is a breach of protocol. The galaxy has rules, conventions that prevent chaos." Sarah's gaze didn't waver. "Protocols are made to ensure order, Ambassador. But order built on fear and complacency breeds stagnation. Earth has been silent for centuries, not because we lack strength, but because we chose to prepare." The room shifted uneasily. Some species exchanged furtive glances. The Draken ambassador's claw tapped rhythmically against his chair. A holographic projection flickered to life behind Sarah, a swirling map of known space, dotted with star systems, trade routes, and contested territories. Lines connected Earth to far-flung colonies newly under its protection. "This, Sarah," Saad, gesturing to the map, "is just the beginning. Our return isn't a threat. It's an opportunity. For centuries, humanity endured brutal wars scoured by pestilence, warlords, and near extinction. But we emerged with technology and resolve forged in fire." She pressed a button, and the map zoomed in on a demonstration of Earth's new technology, of planetary shield generator encasing a small moon, rendering it impervious to all known energy weapons. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the crowd. "We propose open exchanges of knowledge, defense pacts against common threats, and a new galactic council where Earth holds a voice equal to yours all." From the back of the room, a Valerian delegate scoffed. "You come bearing weapons that outclass ours and demand a seat at the table? What guarantee do we have you won't use this strength to dominate?" Sarah smiled thinly. "Because dominance is a poor foundation for peace. Strength without empathy leads only to ruin. Humanity learned this long ago." A sudden vibration coursed through the floor. The station's gravity fluctuated, subtle but unnerving. Lieutenant Haru Chun's voice crackled in Sarah's earpiece, tight with urgency. "Commander, unknown ships detected emerging from the nearby nebula. They're fast, heavily armed." Sarah's pulse quickened. "Are they hostile?" No response to hails. "Weapon systems charging." A hush fell over the chamber as the holoscreens shifted to show the incoming vessels, dark silhouettes against the nebulous, swirling gases. "They're mercenaries," muttered an Eshari advisor, "likely hired by factions unwilling to accept Earth's rise." The Draken ambassador slammed his clawed fist on the armrest. "I told you this would bring chaos." Sarah stepped forward, raising her voice to calm the room. "We did not come here to ignite war. Earth stands for peace first. But we will not back down." Her words were steady, but her mind raced. This was the test she'd prepared for. The mercenaries would push them to the brink. But humanity's new doctrine was clear. Overwhelming force applied precisely. Restraint always the goal. The Dauntless activated its energy shield, casting a shimmering blue dome around Celestial. Nexus. Smaller Earth fighters peeled off, forming defensive formations that moved with uncanny precision. An eerie silence gripped the room. The mercenary ships hesitated, then launched a volley of plasma bolts at the station's defenses. The impact sparked brilliant flares along Earth's shield, but it held firm. "Return fire non-lethal targeting," Sarah ordered, eyes glued to the tactical displays. The human fighters deployed rapid electromagnetic pulses, disabling the mercenaries' targeting systems without destroying the ships. One by one, enemy vessels lost the ability to fire or maneuver. The mercenary commander, a grizzled figure, visible in a flickering holotransmission, snarled in defeat and signaled retreat. The room erupted into murmurs of astonishment and grudging respect. Ambassador Virasalan of the Valarian coalition rose, voice wary but composed. "Your fleet's capabilities are undeniable, Commander. But with such power, you must tread carefully. The galaxy's balance is fragile." Sarah nodded. "We understand. That balance is why we're here to stabilize, not shatter it." As the mercenary ships disappeared into the nebula, the station's gravity normalized. The leaders exchanged cautious glances, the tension easing but far from gone. Sarah turned to her team. "This is just the beginning." The galaxy thought. Earth was weak, forgotten. Now, they must learn what it means to face a humanity forged in survival and tempered by wisdom. What it means to face a humanity forged in survival and tempered by wisdom. She glanced out the observation window at the stars beyond, the countless worlds waiting to be won over, or, if necessary, defended. The galaxy's leaders were reeling. The game had changed. The halls of Celestial Nexus remained thick with tension long after the unexpected battle. The galactic delegates had witnessed something unprecedented, not just the arrival of Earth's fleet, but the sheer overwhelming power it wielded with such calm precision. Commander Sarah Jansen knew the first impression was only the beginning. Now came the moment to reveal Earth's true strength and its intentions. The central chamber, where the summit resumed, had been transformed. The room's ceiling dissolved into a panoramic view of space filled with Earth's fleet arrayed in intricate formations. It was a silent reminder. Earth was no longer a distant myth, but a dominant force. Sarah stepped to the podium. "Leaders of the galaxy, you have seen a fraction of our capabilities. Today, we unveiled the technologies that secured our survival and propelled humanity into a new era." She activated a control, and a series of holographic displays materialized, illustrating Earth's revolutionary innovations. First came the energy shields, multi-layered, dynamic fields that could absorb and dissipate energy attacks of any known kind. Demonstrations showed plasma beams harmlessly dissipating, missiles rendered inert mid-flight. For centuries, shields have been fragile and limited, but Earth's designs reshaped that reality. Ambassador Krelvan's eyes narrowed. Such power would shift any conflict. How do you justify wielding it? Sarah's expression remained unyielding. It is not justification, but responsibility. Our technology is a shield against chaos and destruction. Next, the display shifted to autonomous AI drones, small, fast, and intelligent beyond anything known. These were not mindless machines, but learning entities that adapted tactics in real time, able to coordinate complex strategies and execute precision strikes with minimal collateral damage. An Ashari strategist murmured, "This changes everything. A single human commander can control fleets far larger than any other species can manage." Sarah nodded. "Our AI enhances human decision-making, but it never replaces human judgment. We combine the best of both." The final reveal was the propulsion systems, drives capable of near-instantaneous travel across light years, making Earth's fleet mobile and unpredictable, while other empires relied on slower, cumbersome warp gates or jump drives with limitations. Humanity's quantum slipstream tech offered strategic advantage on an unprecedented scale. A Valarian scientist's voice betrayed awe. Such speed would render traditional defenses obsolete. Sarah smiled. "Our strength lies not just in weapons, but in adaptability. We have faced extinction before. We innovate or perish." Behind the scenes, the galactic leaders whispered in clusters, grappling with a storm of emotions: fear, envy, curiosity, and anger. Earth's rise threatened to upend centuries of carefully maintained power balances. Ambassador Virasalan, of the Valarian coalition finally spoke, her voice steady but cautious. "Commander Janssen, your technology is awe-inspiring. But what prevents Earth from becoming a new imperial force?" Sarah met her gaze without hesitation. "Because humanity remembers its past mistakes. We have known oppression, failure, and endless war. We return not to conquer, but to build a coalition where strength serves peace." She paused. "We invite the galaxy to join us in sharing knowledge, advancing together. But if any seek to use this as a threat, we will respond decisively." The room buzzed with mixed reactions. Some leaders exchanged nods, considering the offer. Others bristled, their pride wounded by Earth's unyielding confidence. Meanwhile, deep within the shadows of Celestial Nexus, whispers of distrust festered. Ambassador Krelvan convened a private council of his most trusted advisors. "This Earth threat cannot be allowed to upset the natural order," he growled. "We must find their weaknesses." Across the hall, Valarian officers debated strategies. A young captain named Lyrakos questioned the old guard's reluctance. "Are we to simply bow to Earth's might, or can we learn from them, adapt?" Her views were radical, and some saw them as dangerous. Yet, among the younger delegates, a flicker of hope glimmered, a chance to reshape the galaxy. Back in the main chamber, Sarah's second-in-command, Lieutenant Haruchan, interrupted with, "Urgent news. Commander, intelligence reports indicate unusual activity near the Andarian rift smuggling vessels and mercenary fleets moving covertly. We suspect a coordinated effort to undermine Earth's influence." Sarah's brow furrowed. "Prepare. A reconnaissance mission. We must understand the threat before it grows." The tension in the room thickened as Earth's strength was met not just with awe, but with fear-driven conspiracies. Some factions whispered of alliances with unknown entities beyond the galaxy, secret weapons hidden in forgotten star systems. As night fell over Celestial Nexus, Sarah retreated to the observation deck, staring out at the glittering stars beyond. The galaxy was vast, full of wonders and dangers. Earth's unmatched strength had announced itself with thunder, but the true challenge was forging peace among wary leaders, old grudges, and unseen enemies. Her voice was quiet, determined. "We didn't come here to intimidate. We came to change the future. And that future starts now." The uneasy calm following Earth's spectacular display of power quickly unraveled beneath the surface of Celestial Nexus. What had begun as a historic summit was now a powder keg of suspicion, whispers, and covert schemes. Ambassador Krelvan paced behind the heavy glass walls of the Draken delegation's quarters, his dark eyes burning with a mixture of rage and calculation. Earth's arrival had shattered his empire's centuries-old dominance, and his pride refused to accept the new order without a fight. "We cannot face them head-on," he growled, addressing his closest advisors. "Their fleet is unmatched. Their technology far beyond ours. But strength is not invincible. Every empire has its weaknesses." He tapped a holoscreen, revealing encrypted data streams and intercepted communications. "Our spies report movements of mercenary fleets' hired guns converging near the Andarian rift. We will fund and direct them. Let Earth fight shadows and ghosts." One advisor, a wiry Draken with scars crisscrossing his face, nodded. "We also have agents inside Celestial Nexus. Earth's reliance on AI networks is their Achilles heel. We can infiltrate, corrupt, and sabotage their systems." Krelvan's lips curled into a cruel smile. "Good. Let the galaxy burn while we seize control of the ashes." Across the station, Ambassador Virasalan of the Valarian Coalition listened to similar warnings with growing unease. The coalition had long prided itself on diplomacy and technological progress, yet Earth's dominance unsettled even her. In a discreet meeting with her trusted officers, Salin voiced her fears. "The old alliances are fracturing. Some factions prefer open confrontation, others secret sabotage. We must remain vigilant, but also open to change. Among her advisors, a young Valerian officer named Lyra Koss spoke boldly. The galaxy is at a crossroads. If we cling to the past, we fall. But if we learn from Earth, we can shape a future where cooperation prevails. Solon regarded her with a mixture of respect and caution. Your ideas are dangerous, Captain, but perhaps necessary. Meanwhile, deep within the corridors of celestial nexus, a web of espionage tightened. Earth's advanced AI security systems heralded as impenetrable detected subtle anomalies, unauthorized data packets, mysterious power fluctuations, and shadowy figures slipping through sensor grids. Lieutenant Haru Chun spearheaded the investigation. "We've traced a breach to the Valerian sector," she reported to Sarah Jansen. "Someone is accessing our AI command nodes. The intrusion is sophisticated, likely insiders or mercenaries with high-level clearance." Sarah's eyes narrowed. "We must root out the traitors before they cripple our systems. This is no longer just a political game. It's a war of shadows." She authorized a covert operation. A team of Earth's best operatives, trained in cyber warfare and physical infiltration, would hunt the saboteurs. The operation's codename was Iron Veil. While Iron Veil mobilized, the political atmosphere at the summit deteriorated. Delegates whispered accusations and rumors, casting doubt on allies and foes alike. A sudden explosion rocked a nearby docking bay, an attack on an Earth supply convoy preparing to leave the station. Casualties were minimal, but the message was clear. Hostility lurked beneath diplomatic facades. Sarah addressed the assembly in a tense emergency session. This violence proves some factions reject peace and cooperation. Earth did not come here to conquer, but to build. We will not respond with blind aggression, but with justice and resolve. Her words were met with mixed reactions. Some nodded in agreement, while others bristled, unwilling to concede to what they perceived as Earth's moral high ground. At the heart of the station, a clandestine meeting unfolded. A shadowy council of old guard leaders, including disillusioned members of the Galactic Council, conspired to undermine Earth's ascent. "We cannot allow humanity to rewrite the rules," hissed an elder from the Ashari Republic. "Their strength threatens our sovereignty and traditions." Another whispered, "If we cannot beat them openly, we will corrupt from within. Target their supply lines, sabotage their AI, and spread dissent among their allies." The plan was ruthless: to destabilize Earth's foothold by any means necessary, even if it meant plunging the galaxy into chaos. In the midst of this turmoil, Captain Lyra Koss found herself torn. A prodigy within the Valarian coalition, she sympathized with Earth's vision but remained loyal to her people. During a secret meeting with Sarah's envoy, Lyra confessed her fears. The galaxy's old guard resists change, but their resistance risks destroying everything. "I want to help, but I'm watched closely." Sarah regarded her thoughtfully. "Change always comes with sacrifice. Your courage could make the difference between war and peace." Their alliance was fragile, forged in shared hope and mutual suspicion. As the days passed, the fragile summit threatened to collapse entirely. Sabotage attempts, political betrayals, and assassination plots cast long shadows over every negotiation. Yet amidst the chaos, Earth's message resonated with many. Small systems once neglected by galactic powers sought Earth's protection, intrigued by promises of shared progress and security. Sarah's voice echoed through the corridors and communication networks. The galaxy faces a choice: cling to the past and watch it crumble, or embrace a new future forged by unity and strength. Earth stands ready to lead, but we will not lead alone. The galaxy's leaders were reeling, but the tide of change was unstoppable. The political storm swirling within Celestial Nexus showed no sign of abating. The galaxy's leaders had no choice but to confront a new reality. Earth's unprecedented power and unyielding determination had rewritten the rules. Yet beneath the surface, alliances were fracturing, old rivalries deepening, and the threat of open conflict looming ever closer. Commander Sarah Janssen stood in the command center of Earth's flagship, Dauntless, staring at the holographic star map that showed a dense cluster of mercenary fleets assembling near the Andarian Rift. The once hidden threats were now impossible to ignore. Lieutenant Haru Chun reported grimly, multiple mercenary groups Draken-backed. Rogue Valerian cells and unknown factions are mobilizing for a coordinated strike. Estimates suggest their combined firepower rivals that of a small armada. Sarah's jaw clenched. They seek to test us before negotiations even begin. We cannot allow them to destabilize this station or the fragile peace we strive to build. Her voice echoed through the bridge, steady but commanding. Prepare defensive protocols and deploy reconnaissance units. We must act before the storm breaks. Across Celestial Nexus, the mood was charged. Delegates gathered in tense caucuses, their voices low but fierce. Ambassador Krelvan met with his mercenary commanders in a secure chamber. His claws drummed impatiently on the metal table. This is the moment to strike. Earth's hubris will be their downfall. One mercenary captain, a battle-scarred veteran named Drex, grinned darkly. Our fleets are ready. We'll hit their supply lines, disrupt their communications, and force them into a reaction. Krelvan nodded. Good, but remember Earth's technology is unlike anything we faced. Use guerrilla tactics. Hit hard and vanish. Meanwhile, Valarian Captain Lyra Koss moved through the station's corridors, her face set with determination. She had spent long hours negotiating with Earth's operatives, trying to build fragile trust amidst growing chaos. In a private meeting with Sarah, Lyra voiced her concerns. The old powers will not accept this new order quietly. If we do not unite quickly, they will tear the galaxy apart. Sarah looked at her, respect shining through fatigue. That is why Earth came here, not just with weapons, but with a willingness to lead by example. We need allies like you. Lyra nodded. I will do what I can, but the fractures run deep. As tension escalated, a covert Iron Veil team launched a risky operation into the heart of Celestial Nexus's underbelly. Their mission: expose and dismantle the sabotage network threatening Earth's AI systems. The team moved through labyrinthine maintenance tunnels, evading patrols and hacking security nodes. They uncovered encrypted transmissions linking rogue delegates to mercenary commanders. The leader of the team, Lieutenant Cara Mendoza, sent a secure report to Sarah. We have proof of conspiracy. The mercenary attacks and AI breaches are coordinated. Sarah's voice was cold steel overcomes. Expose them. Let the galaxy see who chooses chaos over peace. At the summit's grand assembly, Sarah stepped onto the stage with evidence in hand. The holographic displays projected intercepted communications, revealing traitors plotting against Earth and the summit's stability. Gasps and murmurs erupted. Several ambassadors rose in protest, denying accusations. But the evidence was irrefutable. Ambassador Vera Salin stood and addressed the chamber. This treachery threatens us all. We must unite against those who would drag us back into endless war. Her words found support among many delegates, but pockets of resistance remained, fueled by fear and pride. Outside the station, Earth's fleet moved into defensive formations, ready to repel any mercenary assault. Sarah knew this was only the beginning. In a quiet moment on the observation deck, she confided to Lieutenant Chun, "We've shown strength and mercy, but the real battle will be winning hearts and minds." Chun nodded. "The galaxy's future depends on it." As the mercenary fleets closed in, Celestial Nexus prepared for the storm. The galaxy was on the brink. Old powers schemed in shadows. New alliances flickered uncertainly. And at the center of it all stood Earth ready to fight, to lead, and to change the fate of the stars. Asterisk the Andarian Rift, a turbulent expanse of swirling gases and volatile gravitational anomalies, was the stage for a confrontation that would echo across the galaxy. Earth's fleet had moved swiftly to intercept the mercenary armada, knowing that the battle here could determine the fragile piece's fate. Commander Sarah Johnson stood on the bridge of the Dauntless, eyes fixed on the holographic tactical display. Red blips marked the mercenary vessels, fast, numerous, and heavily armed, closing in through the rift's chaos. Lieutenant Haru Chun's voice was steady. Enemy fleet is deploying in three-pronged formations, attempting to exploit the rift's anomalies for ambush tactics. Sarah nodded, her mind racing. We anticipated guerrilla tactics. Let's counter with adaptability. Deploying variable geometry shields and electronic countermeasures, Chun reported. Fighters are on high alert. The battle erupted with a deafening roar. Plasma blasts and missile volleys lit the rift's swirling gases as Earth ships engaged mercenary vessels with precision and coordination. The mercenaries fought fiercely, exploiting every advantage the rift's turbulence offered. Ships darted in and out of sensor shadows, launching surprise attacks before fading into the nebulous haze. But Earth's fleet held the edge. Its quantum slipstream drives allowed rapid repositioning, while LA-enhanced tactics outmatched the mercenaries' brute force. On the Dauntless Bridge, Sarah coordinated the defense and offense with ruthless efficiency. Fighter Squadron Alpha, flank left and cut off their retreat vectors, she commanded. Beta Squadron, focus on disabling enemy command ships. A squadron leader's voice crackled back. Understood, Commander. Engaging now. As the squadrons executed their maneuvers, electromagnetic pulse torpedoes tore through mercenary formations, disabling engines and weapon systems without destroying vessels, a calculated move to minimize casualties and maintain leverage. In the chaos, Lieutenant Cara Mendoza led a special ops team aboard the Vortex, a sleek Earth stealth ship tasked with intercepting mercenary command vessels. Their boarding pods shot through the rift's volatile atmosphere, silently docking with the target ships. Inside, Mendoza's team faced brutal close-quarters combat against mercenary Marines, but their superior training and equipment gave them the edge. Mendoza's voice over comms was calm and assured. Command vessel secured. Disabling enemy communications and navigation. Back at Celestial Nexus, the political summit teetered on collapse as news of the battle spread. Delegates grappled with the reality that diplomacy alone might not hold the galaxy together. Ambassador Vera Salin addressed the assembly. The mercenary threat is a symptom of deeper fractures. We must unite. Earth's strength can be a shield for us all if we have the courage to stand together. Her words resonated with many, but skepticism and fear still simmered beneath the surface. As the battle raged, Sarah received an encrypted transmission from an unexpected source, a Valarian informant aligned with Captain Lyra Koss. Commander, new intel. Lyra's voice crackled through. The mercenary fleets are coordinated by a hidden faction, rogue elements within the Draken Empire, and disaffected Valarian warlords. They seek to destabilize the entire summit. Sarah's eyes narrowed. We need to expose them before this war spirals beyond control. With the tide turning in their favor, Earth's fleet tightened its grip. The mercenary armada, once confident, now found itself outmaneuvered and fragmented. Lieutenant Chun reported, enemy flagship disabled. Remaining vessels retreating into the rift's turbulence. Sarah allowed herself a brief moment of relief. Hold position and prepare for pursuit. Yet, amidst victory, the cost was clear. Several Earth ships had sustained damage, and casualties weighed heavily on the crew. Sarah addressed her fleet over the comms. "Today, we proved our strength, but this is not a war for conquest. It is a war for peace." Her message rippled across the stations and worlds watching the conflict, a promise and a warning. As the mercenaries fled, the true battle was only beginning. The galaxy had witnessed Earth's unmatched power and the lengths some would go to resist it. Sarah stood on the dauntless observation deck, staring into the swirling rift beyond. The stars were distant and cold, but within them lay the future. The summit of celestial nexus teetered on the brink of chaos. The air was thick with tension, a potent mixture of fear, ambition, and fragile hope. Delegates moved through the grand halls like wary predators, every word weighed with suspicion, every gesture scrutinized. Commander Sarah Janssen stood before the assembly, poised and resolute. The vote on Earth's coalition charter, the framework for a unified, galactic alliance, would determine not just the summit's future, but the fate of the galaxy itself. She took a deep breath and addressed the chamber. "For centuries, we have lived divided, fragmented by old rivalries and fear. Today, we have a choice: to continue down the path of conflict or to forge a new future built on unity and mutual respect." Her words stirred murmurs. Some eyes glimmered with hope, others with cold calculation. In the shadows, Ambassador Krelvin watched with burning fury. His plans to destabilize the summit had been repeatedly thwarted, but this vote threatened to seal Earth's vision as the new order. He gathered his inner circle, the hidden conspirators who had orchestrated mercenary attacks, sabotaged AI networks, and assassinated political rivals. "Our time is running out," Krelvin hissed. "If we lose this vote, our power will vanish like smoke. We must act decisively." A mercenary captain smirked. "We have one final card to strike deep within Celestial Nexus. We will show them that Earth's peace is a lie." Krelvin nodded grimly, then let the storm begin. Back on the Dauntless, Sarah's security team intensified preparations. Lieutenant Cara Mendoza reviewed intelligence reports, tracking unusual movements inside the station. "We've detected unauthorized access attempts near the summit chamber," Mendoza warned. "An attack is imminent." Sarah tightened her grip on the rail. "Then we will be ready." As delegates gathered for the final vote, the station's power flickered ominously. A coordinated sabotage cut communications and emergency lighting, plunging the chamber into semi-darkness. Shouts erupted. Security personnel rushed to contain the chaos. Amid the confusion, mercenary forces disguised as maintenance crews stormed the chamber, weapons blazing. Sarah reacted instantly, rallying. "Earth's operatives and loyal delegates, hold your ground. Protect the delegates." A fierce firefight erupted within the marble halls, echoing with the clash of energy weapons and the cries of combatants. Sarah led a squad through the chaos, their training and discipline turning the tide. But the attack was well planned. Several key delegates were taken hostage, and the conspirators seized control of the chamber's central command node. Captain Lyra Koss moved swiftly to coordinate a counterattack with Valarian security forces loyal to reformist factions. "We cannot let this rebellion succeed," she declared. "This is our chance to prove unity." Her forces clashed with the mercenaries in the station's corridors, the struggle raging from the summit's grand halls to the maintenance tunnels below. On the Dauntless, Lieutenant Chen directed fleet defenses against a surprise assault by mercenary fighters attempting to breach the station's perimeter. "Enemy ships are exploiting the chaos," Chen reported, deploying countermeasures and scrambling interceptors. Sarah's voice was steady despite the crisis. "Protect the station at all costs." Within the besieged summit chamber, Sarah faced a harrowing decision. The hostage situation left her with no easy options. A desperate plan took shape to disable the chamber's security lockdown from the station's control core. Perilous mission deep in enemy-controlled territory. "I'll lead the team," Sarah said, eyes blazing with determination. "We end this here and now." The infiltration was tense and brutal. Sarah and her team navigated darkened corridors, avoiding patrols and disabling traps. The weight of the galaxy's future pressed on their shoulders. At the control core, Sarah confronted Ambassador Krelvan himself, who guarded the override terminal with deadly resolve. "You cannot stop the inevitable, Commander," Krelvan snarled. "Earth's arrogance will be its downfall." There, confrontation was fierce, a clash of skill, will, and ideology. But Sarah's resolve, honed by hardship and hope, proved stronger. With a final decisive move, she disabled the lockdown and sent a signal to free the hostages. As the station systems restored, Earth's forces and loyal delegates surged into the chamber, overwhelming the remaining conspirators. The assault was over. The vote resumed, now in the light of truth and resilience. Ambassador Vera Salin stood beside Sarah, addressing the assembly. This attack was not just against Earth. It was against every voice for peace and unity. Let us honor those who stood for the future. One by one, delegates cast their votes. The charter passed by a narrow margin, but it passed. Outside the chamber, the galaxy seemed to hold its breath. The fractures remained, but the tide had turned. Sarah and Lyra met in the aftermath, exhausted but hopeful. "The road ahead will be difficult," Sarah said. "But today, we took the first step toward a united galaxy." Lyra smiled faintly. "Together, we are stronger." As the Dauntless soared into the stars once more, the galaxy's leaders reeled from the storm, but the promise of a new era burned bright. The turning point had come. The echoes of the battle at the Andarian Rift still reverberated through Celestial Nexus, but the victory was a bittersweet one. Earth's unmatched power had crushed the mercenary threat, yet the cost was evident, not only in damaged ships and lost lives, but in the fragile alliances now strained to their breaking point. Commander Sarah Janssen paced the deck of the Dauntless, her thoughts heavy. The battle had proven humanity's strength, but it had also intensified the fractures already splintering the Galactic coalition. Lieutenant Haru Chen approached, concern etched on her face. "Commander, reports from the summit are troubling. Several key delegates are demanding sanctions against Earth, accusing us of provocation." Sarah sighed. "Fear breeds hostility. We must show strength and restraint simultaneously." Within the marble halls of Celestial Nexus, the summit resumed amidst bitter disputes. Ambassador Krelvan seized the opportunity to fan the flames. "Off, dissent." He stood tall, his voice ringing through the chamber. Earth's so-called peace is a thin veil for dominance. Their technology threatens our sovereignty. We cannot allow one species to dictate terms to the galaxy. Several delegates nodded, their faces grim. The centuries-old balance of power was unraveling, and many feared a future ruled by Earth's overwhelming might. Yet not all shared Krelvan's defiance. Ambassador Vera Salin, ever the voice of reason, called for calm. "We stand at a crossroads. Earth's power is undeniable, but so is the need for unity. Let us build bridges, not walls." Her appeal was met with cautious agreement by some, but whispers of rebellion lingered. Meanwhile, Captain Lyra Koss worked tirelessly behind the scenes, navigating the treacherous currents of galactic politics. She met secretly with Earth envoys, sharing intelligence and advocating for cooperation. In a dimly lit conference room, Lyra confided in Sarah. "The old guard resists change, but many younger leaders see the potential for a new era. We must seize this moment." Sarah nodded. "Change is never easy, but we have to be patient and prepared." Tensions escalated further when a high-ranking Valerian official was discovered dead under suspicious circumstances. Official reports called it an accident, but whispers of assassination spread quickly. Lieutenant Cara Mendoza leading Earth's internal security, was tasked with investigating. This could destabilize the coalition, she warned Sarah. We must tread carefully. Sarah's jaw tightened. Find the truth. If this is sabotage, those responsible will face justice. As investigations unfolded, it became clear that the conspiracy reached deeper than anyone had anticipated. Evidence pointed to shadowy factions within both the Draken and Valerian, leaderships groups unwilling to accept Earth's presence and determined to ignite chaos. Krelvan, while publicly condemning Earth, secretly coordinated with these factions, seeking to exploit unrest for his gain. Back on the Dauntless, Sarah convened a council with her closest advisors. We face enemies on multiple fronts, not just in space, but within the halls of diplomacy. We must strengthen our alliances and expose these conspiracies before they destroy us. Lieutenant Chun proposed an aggressive information campaign. We can broadcast intercepted communications and evidence of sabotage directly to the public. Across multiple systems, transparency might rally support. Sarah agreed. Let the galaxy decide who truly threatens peace. The broadcasts sent shockwaves through the galaxy. Citizens in minor systems, previously indifferent or skeptical, began demanding accountability and change. Protests erupted in some worlds, calls for reform in others. Yet, the old powers fought back fiercely, labeling Earth a tyrant and the broadcast propaganda. In the midst of this turmoil, Sarah found an unlikely ally in Lyra Koss, whose own people faced growing internal conflict between traditionalists and reformers. Their alliance became a beacon of hope, a promise that despite fractures, the galaxy could move toward unity. But the shadows were deep. A covert assassination attempt on Sarah herself during a summit gala underscored the peril. Earth security forces thwarted the attack, but the message was clear. Enemies lurked everywhere. Sarah, bruised but unbowed, addressed her security team. We protect not just a fleet, but a future. Stay vigilant. As the summit edged toward a critical vote on Earth's proposed coalition charter, the galaxy held its breath. The fractures within were deep, but the promise of a new era led by Earth's strength and vision gleamed like a distant star. Sarah looked out over the vastness of space, the weight of leadership heavy on her shoulders. The galaxy is breaking apart, she whispered. But from these fractures, something stronger will emerge. The battle for the summit was over, but the true challenge was only beginning. As the dust settled over Celestial Nexus, the galaxy's fractured leaders now faced a choice: cling to old fears and grudges, or embrace the unprecedented unity Earth had fought to forge. Commander Sarah Jansen stood once more on the observation deck of the Dauntless, gazing out at the swirling stars. The coalition charter was ratified, a fragile but historic step toward peace. Yet the weight of what lay ahead pressed heavy on her shoulders. Lieutenant Haru Chun approached quietly. The vote was a victory, but not a guarantee. Many systems remain wary, even hostile. Sarah nodded. Change is never immediate. Trust must be earned. We have work to do. Back on Celestial Nexus, Ambassador Vera Salin addressed a renewed assembly, her voice firm with hope. Today, we have chosen cooperation over conflict. Our strength lies not in domination, but in unity. Her words ignited cautious optimism. Across star systems, news of the coalition's birth spread like wildfire. Galactic markets stirred, and old rivalries paused in uncertain truce. Captain Lyra Koss met with Sarah in a quiet chamber, both weary but resolute. The summit's outcome has shifted the balance, Lyra said. Many Valerians see a future beyond war. Sarah smiled faintly. And Earth will stand with those who seek peace. Lyra's gaze hardened. But shadows linger. The conspirators we exposed are only the surface. There are deeper currents of dissent. Sarah's eyes steeled. Then we faced them, as we always have, with vigilance and resolve. In the weeks that followed, Earth's diplomats worked tirelessly to solidify alliances, promote trade agreements, and share technology. Human ingenuity and compassion became the coalition's cornerstone. Earth's fleets patrolled contested sectors, not as conquerors, but as guardians deterring piracy, aiding in disaster relief, and offering protection to vulnerable worlds. Yet, not all welcomed this new order. In the outer fringes of the galaxy, remnants of mercenary forces and rogue factions were grouped. Their leaders, embittered by defeat, whispered of rebellion and revenge. In a shadowed command center aboard the Phantom, a notorious mercenary warlord vowed, "Earth's peace is a cage. We will shatter it." But on Earth, hope burned brighter. Sarah convened her leadership team aboard the Dauntless, outlining plans for outreach and cooperation. "We lead not by fear, but by example," she said. "Our strength is a beacon, not a sword." Lieutenant Cara Mendoza, her voice steady, added, "We'll continue rooting out threats within and beyond. But we must also build trust, not just walls." The Coalition's first joint mission symbolized this vision, a massive humanitarian effort responding to a natural disaster on a distant agricultural world. Ships from multiple species worked side by side, saving lives and rebuilding communities. News broadcasts showed children of many races playing together, ambassadors sharing meals, and soldiers standing guard not as enemies, but as protectors. As the Coalition's influence grew, so did the challenges. Old prejudices persisted, and the scars of centuries were slow to heal. But Earth's leaders never wavered. In a final moment of reflection, Sarah addressed the Dauntless crew. "We have faced war, sabotage, and betrayal. But through it all, humanity's spirit shines. The galaxy's future is unwritten. Together, we will write a story of hope." Above the stars, the Dauntless accelerated into the vast unknown, its journey a symbol of a new era where strength met compassion, and diversity became the galaxy's greatest power. The leaders of the galaxy, once reeling from Earth's unmatched strength, now stood united at the dawn of a future forged by courage and cooperation. The end.